This is season 4, and I am on a mission to help creatives become the most loved versions of themselves. I want to help you step into health in every single area of your life and pursue the authentic creative expression that you feel called to and that only you can. The world feels crazy right now, and we need healthy creatives more than ever. So let's get into it. I'm Courtney Lancaster, and this is the Heal Create podcast. Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday if you're listening to this right when it comes out. If you are listening to this right when it comes out, that means that I am in Reading. I am speaking at a songwriting retreat that I have been a part of for the last few years. It's called the Fathering Artist Retreat. And I will be speaking on nervous system health for performers, which obviously you guys know a lot about if you've followed along my journey. I will also be performing with my own creative partner, who I think you guys are going to meet here in the next few months. Jason, we've been writing a bunch, and I am so excited to kind of go on my own artist journey next year. We are planning on recording an album, writing an album next year, and working with a producer to get it going. And what is so interesting about this is that there are so many ways that my songwriting and singing and artistry kind of takes a backseat to my life. Although I've been really good about maintaining creative practices because I would die if I didn't. There's so many things about supporting artists over the last few years that have taken just first place in my life as far as outside of my family pursuits. But now I get to be the artist. I get to step more into my own artistry. And it's something I feel really excited about. And as we are gearing up to do this, really already are kind of getting into it, it just puts me back in the seat of being focused on singing and performing in a way that I haven't been in a really long time. And it gives me so much empathy. It gives me so much compassion for the process, especially like for those of you that already kind of are established in another direction, meaning you already have a job, you already have a way to make money or a certain kind of community, or maybe you're a mom or whatever. If you aren't starting out like in college or in your 20s as somebody going in the direction of being an artist, it's incredibly difficult to shift. I've said before, like the learning curve is sharp, especially for artists in this, the game has changed so much with social media that there's so much that you have to know, so much more. The good news, of course, for especially like musicians and artists is that you don't need a record company. You don't need to be discovered in order to put your music out there and have like a body of work and have a fan base, or just get your music out there in general. You can do it all independently. There's so many tools and resources, more than we've ever had. And so there's a lot of good news there, but also like that also means that you're on your own to do it. So I've just had such a stretching of compassion and empathy lately for all of the artists, for all of the flighty artists. And it's perfect timing because everything that I'm going through this school year is a pillar of the structure needed to support artistry and creativity. And I think that that's one of the reasons why people don't, is because they are spending most of their time tending to all of the other like pillars of their life and trying to figure out what they need and how to really cultivate well-being and wellness and abundance and best case scenarios in all of the different areas of their life. And that takes time. It takes, I would say education, probably support. A lot of us are on that journey of just trying to figure out how to stay grounded and also how to support our lives and how to have healthy relationships and physical health and emotional health and all the things. Or there's, on the other hand, artists that are so obsessed with their art that they ignore all of these pillars. And I just think that and we know that as the burnt out, addicted, broke artist idea that I just frankly am probably most passionate about finding a third way. And so there have been a lot of opportunities to practice what I preach, because I swung really hard from pursuing music into pursuing emotional and mental and nervous system health, and then going into business as an entrepreneur. And so now that I'm like leaning back into this artist side, oh my gosh, I'm just like taking my own medicine, practicing what I've been preaching for the last few years. And I just want to give you a hug if you're on that journey of like figuring out how to balance your creativity with your life. It is exciting though, and though it is exciting though, and it's also incredibly freaking possible. It's so possible. So this is what I want to do for you guys today. I want to give you guys a little timeout to tend to yourself, put it all aside and just be with yourself. So I'll start by saying I had Laura Duncan on the podcast last weekend. And if you haven't listened to that one, please go back because she's just honestly incredible. I feel like I closed my laptop after that podcast and just like stared at my wall for a while, just like, oh man, refreshed kind of in the basics of emotional health. When people talk about the work, are you doing the work? Like that is the work. That's the work. She talked about the different emotional needs of a child and how every hardship that we experience actually is inviting us to look back into what lack we might have in every single area. And so she calls them the 10 gifts. And really, she's just identifying the 10 like emotional imperatives for a child, like the different things that a kid needs besides the legal matters of food and provision and protection. There are 10 emotional needs that kids all have, that when they go unmet, we have all these adaptive, really honestly, brilliant survival strategies or numbing strategies or coping strategies to deal with that. And it can be so incredibly painful and confusing. And there is a way to give ourselves what we didn't have. So for me, the very first education that I ever had in emotional health was through Laura Duncan, and through giving myself a learning about my lack, learning about the different needs that a kid has that were showing up very obviously in my life, and then learning how to give those things to myself. And then I went on to do some pretty intense trauma therapy. And a ton of education and reading and research all around. Like, I think honestly, my question was like, what makes a healthy human? Because it didn't seem like the answer was clear to me at first. And so it was just my main North Star question for a while. And what was really cool was that I found that everything that I had learned from Laura in my first few years with her and then interning with her was just basically what I found everywhere that I went. Yes, there were other things. I'm a huge nervous system nerd and also a really big neuroscience nerd, I guess. Like just neuroplasticity and brain retraining were really huge. They were huge for Laura too. She talked about that. But there are all these other ways to look at it. But at the bottom line is when you use your imagination to welcome and love every single experience that you have, to be with yourself in every single experience, you will heal. That is healing. And I've seen it used with a lot of different language and from a lot of different directions. But what they're all saying, the Bible as well, spirituality as well, learning to look at your lack, your pain with so much grace and so much love, and then learning how to tend to that is what heals you. Honestly, guys, give it a year. Do this for a year and see how much your life absolutely transforms. So what I did was I created a meditation for each of these 10 gifts and these 10 emotional needs that every kid has, so that when you get triggered, what you can do is you can look at that trigger, get curious about that trigger, kind of ask, what triggered me? What happened? How did it make me feel? And what is this painful feeling really needing? So like if you felt overlooked or ignored, you might have a trigger where maybe somebody got the promotion over you, or maybe somebody didn't choose you. And you might do some digging and realize like, oh, this is pointing to that need that I had as a kid to be seen. Well, then you can go to the to be seen meditation, and I'll guide you through giving that gift to yourself and to that kid inside of you. Um, and there are 10 gifts, like we've talked about: to be seen, to be heard, to be accepted, to be taught, to be played with, to be protected, to be provided for, to be valued, and to know that you're enough. So we'll release this collection of meditations and journal prompts, both with music and without music, depending on how you want to use it in your life. And that will be out, I think, sometime in the next week. Um, And I think and I hope and I pray. I mean, it's a resource that I wish that I had had. Meditations are a daily part of my healing. I mean, literally every day, I never skip doing a visualization or a meditation from, some of my favorite teachers, or just even with myself, with just music in the background. Just imagining whatever I'm needing that day. If I'm needing to reconnect to my purpose, if I'm needing to give myself love, if I'm needing to imagine a safe person with me, if I'm needing to imagine some of the future places that I want to go, just to show my nervous system that it's safe to go there. It's just visualization, meditation is essential. Essential. It's the fulcrum of my healing. And so I was really excited to make these and offer them to you. So what I want to do right now is I want to give you guys the opportunity. Oh, I forgot the last one, which is the one that we're going to do today: to be shown affection. I want to give you guys the gift of feeling affection. It's the physical expression of all of these other gifts. It says so much that each of these different emotional needs would explain as well. So I want you to go ahead, if you can, unless you're driving, you can close your eyes. If not, keep your eyes open. Just keep breathing. Take a deep breath. You are so deeply loved. I hope that you know that. Whoever's listening, you are so loved. And I hear you, and I'm with you. I know what this journey is like. And I want you to imagine yourself in a really safe and beautiful place. A place where there's warmth and safety. If you can, maybe even imagine taking your shoes off in this place, seeing how the ground feels underneath your feet. Noticing what time of day it is. And just taking in your surroundings. And I want to invite you to remember a time when you felt held. When somebody safe hugged you, maybe it was a parent or a grandparent, any family member, or maybe a mentor, maybe a best friend. And I want you to imagine using your senses. How did that feel? If you felt the warmth of their arms around you, how did it feel just to notice the kindness of their physical presence, supporting you, sharing a moment of connection with you? A hug or an embrace says so much. And I wonder if you can take a moment to think about what that hug said to you. Maybe I see you, I've got you, you're safe, you're valued, you're enough. And just see how this feels in your body so we can memorize and rehearse this feeling. If you feel like you can exhale, and as you think about that hug or that embrace, just see if you can really take in the truth of that. I am heard. I am seen. I am accepted. I am valued. It's okay. There's time. I'm not alone. And whenever you're ready, you can come back into the room or to the present moment. It's one of my favorite things to do is just to rehearse goodness with memories and moments like that, real or imagined. Your body actually doesn't know the difference, which is really wild when you think about it. So I hope that this is one that you can come back to. And if that was helpful for you, I have 10 meditations coming your way for each of the childhood emotional needs. And they're longer than that, and they have music behind them. And I just think they're really special. That will be coming in the next week. In the meantime, if you're listening to this day up, wish me luck as I perform tonight. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.